Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool review slash tool comparison is going to be on two different pouches. One is from Diamondback Tools. This is the DB Sax Pouch. And then the other is from Holstery. It's the Joey Pouch. Now I previously had a video on some Holstery products, and I want to say I believe that this was a brand new product to me at the time that I made that video. I kind of showed its features. I hadn't used it a whole lot. I've had this for like a year and 4 months now. Used it hundreds of times. I've even got two of them. And then this one, the DB Sax, I've only had for about a month, and I've only used it a handful of times. Both of them have things I like. Both of them have things I don't like. So my hope with this video is to help you make the decision that one of them might be better for you than the other. It really just depends on what you want to do with them. But let's go ahead and get into this. Let's start out with the similarities first, which is why I put these two together, because there are different offerings from both companies. There's a big Joey that's a little bit bigger than this one, and then there's a DB Sax 2 that's even bigger than this one. But comparison-wise, with size-wise, the Holstery, they say it's 5 by 5 by 6. And the 5 is 5 this way, but you have to close it like that to get to the 5. And then it's 5 this way, but you have to smash it like that to get to the 5. And then it's 6 as far as how much stuff you can put in there. You can see my hand fits in there fairly easy. It's a little warm in my garage today. I got a little sweat going. The DB Sax also, same exact way. If you kind of flatten it out, you can get 5. If you flatten it out that way, you can get 5. And then this one's 8. So you got 2 more inches of depth. Hand goes in and out of it extremely well too. Probably even a little bit easier depending upon the situation. But size-wise, very close to being the same. And price-wise, they're very close to being the same. The Holstery Joey's $34.99, prime shipping. And then the DB Sax is $28. They don't have prime shipping. It's $5 shipping, so that's going to put that at $33. So it's basically $2 less. You get a little bit more room, but then there's some features missing off this that the Joey Pouch has that may be worth that $2 extra to you. 2-inch belt clip on the DB Sax. It is a metal belt clip. It goes on and off of my belt extremely easy. I've not had any problem with it, and it measures 2 inches from the very top of here down to there, whereas the Holstery Joey Pouch, I believe it only says it has 1 3/4 inches. It is a polycarbonate, but I've had no problem with mine. I think they do have a Pro Joey now that has a metal clip, and it measures 1 3/4 inches from right there down to here. But this also works on my Atlas vest because the webbing is so thin. I can get it to go up into there, and it still works with 2 inches. But I don't think it would work on a 2-inch thick belt, so you have to take that in consideration. If the belt that you wear is 2 inches, this one may not fit. Now, they used to sell different pieces where you could change this out and make it 2 inches if you wanted to. That might still be an option for you, so you just have to check that out. I'm not 100% sure. And the belt clip on the Joey Pouch, it does sit on the back side of the pouch. Not that it really matters, because even though this one is on the side, the way that it kind of flexes and moves, that could be considered the back side, other than you just got this tab here that to me would make you think it was the back side with the logo. I don't think that's such a big deal. It kind of is a little more floppy when you wear it, but I think that's more so not about the belt clip, but about one of the disadvantages that we'll get into here in a minute. They're both made out of 1000D ballistic nylon, so this material here is the same as this material here, and the material on the inside of the Holstery down at the bottom is also that same material. It's just a different color. And now the Joey Pouch does have something up here that's a little bit different material. And then this is just basically one layer of this same material on the outside, and then it's on the inside as well, but it's only just one layer. So I think this one seems like it's a little bit thicker, a little more heavy duty to me. But again, I know that it will last. I've had it over a year. This one's fairly new, so I'm not real sure. But that's pretty much all the similarities of them. They're pretty much the same, other than 2 inches taller. Price is the same. Size is close. The material's the same. They both have belt clips. They're both used to be pouches. So let's get into the differences. I'm going to talk about the differences by way of advantages. I'm going to show you which one has an advantage in something, and then I'll show you why is it an advantage over the other one. And starting out with the DB Sax, one of the main advantages might be color selection. You can see I have a red one here. Maybe you just like a certain color. You have options with that, because the Joey Pouch only comes in gray, and it doesn't really matter to me other than I just like the red color. but I don't use mine in a way that I leave stuff in them, you know, a certain thing in there all the time. I'll use this and then I'll dump it and I'll use it for something totally different. Same thing on the Joey Pouch. But where this might be an advantage is if you're someone who does a certain job and maybe you've got 3 fasteners that you use all the time. You could keep, you know, siding nails in a red one, framing nails in a green one, and then screws in a black one, or whatever colors they have. I'll put some of the colors up here. And then they also have a D-ring with a web on it that you can use for whatever you want to. But I believe on their website, they may even have options where you can get a color bag with a certain color webbing right here that's even different. I don't think it's an option on Amazon, but maybe you can get that on their website. But color selection is an advantage as far as the DB Sax. But then opening and drawstring, to me, is an advantage of the Holstery Joey. You can see here that Holstery Joey, it is staying open all the time because it's got some sort of a rigid material worked in this band right here that kind of keeps the mouth of it open all the time to where you can just put your arm in and out, whereas the DB Sax is just basically almost like just a stitched over thing with the drawstring inside of it, so you don't have the option to be able to have that stay open, although whenever you fill it up with fasteners, for the most part it's going to stay open all the time because it's going to be puffed out right here. So it's not a crazy advantage, but it is an advantage. And then because of this band being here, I think that's why the drawstring works better. The drawstring on the Joey Pouch is far superior to that of the DB Sax. You can see if I grab this, it closes right up. I mean, real easy, not a lot of effort involved in that. And then I can also let loose of that, pull that string back out, and it opens right back up. So again, if you're using this for fasteners and you're working up high, you can close that to keep stuff from falling, or at the end of the day, if you're just going to leave them in there, close that up, throw it in your truck. You don't have to worry about them dumping out everywhere. The DB Sax has a drawstring, does the same exact thing, it just does not do it very well. You have to kind of pull one side, get it going, pull the other, and then it will eventually tighten up like that, but it's not very easy. It doesn't work nowhere near as well as the Joey Pouch, but it does have a drawstring. You can close it up. For me, it's not that big of a deal because, again, I might only close that up at the end of the day to throw it in my truck. So if I've only got to close it one time a day, it's not a big deal to me that it takes an extra 2 or 3 seconds. But I feel like this one does have a stiff band, better drawstring. I think that's a better offering with the Joey Pouch. Another advantage for me for the DB Sax is fasteners. If you're only going to use these pouches for fasteners and you're going to be using bigger fasteners especially, or things with fine tips or whatever it might be, I feel like they come in and out of the DB Sax a little bit better. The opening, even though it's the same size, it does seem like my hand goes in there easier. Things don't snag on the inside of the DB Sax as much. I've got some 3-inch deck screws in there, but I can easily just go in and just pull them out. Not a problem at all. I feel like if you're going to do fasteners, one is you can fit more in there because it's a bigger bag. That's less reloading. Whereas I have the same decking screws inside this Joey Pouch, and whenever I stick my hand in, this material that makes this close up so well, you can see how that's loose. Every now and then your screws will snag on that, especially if you're using smaller drywall screws. It seems like they're hard to get out. Those little points will snag on those and pull out. So even though that makes the drawstring feature, I think, work better and be nice, I think that is to the detriment whenever you're using fasteners 100% of the time, because they like to catch on that, and it just doesn't seem like they come out as easy to me. It's not horrible, so if it wouldn't be a deal breaker to me. I'm just saying that they come out of the DB Sax bag a lot easier. There's no effort involved. Sometimes, you know, I'll be pulling, stuff will catch like that, and it just seems to be a problem for me. So advantage to me for fasteners is DB Sax, but advantage to me for tools or anything else, and then the little extra features that are on the Holstery Joey, this might be the one that makes it worth the $2 for you if you ever plan to use it like this. Because that extra 2 inches on the DB Sax, whenever you put a tool in there, you can put whatever you want to in these pouches, but you can see the handles are completely gone, so you've got to go in there and really get your tools out. You can't see them as well. It also does not have any extra things around the outside other than this D-ring, which you could maybe hang something from. I think they kind of plan on you tethering that so that in case something pops off, you don't lose it. Whereas the Holstery, that 2 less inches. You can take tools, put them in there. I can still see my handles. They're sticking up, so I can take some tools and throw them in there. I know a lot of people use this pouch like this. I almost always use mine for fasteners because I've got pouches for my tools. But then the biggest thing to me that is nice, because I do this, is I put my Pica pencil down in the side here. You've got little webs where you can put, you know, bits, markers, even screwdrivers if you want to. Keep those in there. You can see I do have some string starting to come loose on mine. Not a big deal. I just need to snip those off. So you have things on the outside where you could throw different things in, 6 different little slots. That makes it nice to where you could even put some fasteners in here and still carry some screwdrivers. So if you're going to use it for tools, maybe at any point in time, this is definitely the way to go in my opinion. And ultimately, if I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Holstery Joey Pouch just because it feels more secure. I like that mouth stays open all the time. These right here, to me, are a bonus. This works better. This is the only thing that I'm not crazy about because it snags the fasteners. If this wasn't in here and it was just open, but then their drawstring wouldn't work the same with their rim being like that. So that's kind of the poison that you have to have in order for it to stay that way. But they're both good. I like them both. They both work well for different things. Just depends on what you're going to use them for. If you're doing big fasteners and that's all you're going to use it for, I would probably go with this one. But if you're going to multi-use it for all sorts of different things, I think this is the most bang for your buck. But you guys let me know below if you've got both of them, if you've got either one, what you think about them. Let everybody know in the comments below. Again, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Just depends on what you're going to use them for. But I hope this is useful in helping you guys make a decision. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. And I'll see you in the next video.